Hey guys, it's Neil, the Barbarian Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to change the oil and change the oil filter on a 2020 Suburban. Okay? But before I do that, I want to show you the tools that I use and some things that make changing oil a little bit simpler. So the first thing that you need to do when getting ready to change your oil filter is to acquire the oil and the oil filter from said auto shop. So make sure that you get your correct oil and oil filter for whatever vehicle you're using. On the Suburban, it is 0 weight 20, okay? And it takes 8 quarts. So I've got 2 of these big 5 quarters from the store. And the Mobil 1, 20,000 miles up to 1 year, M1212A Mobil 1 filter. I do like the 10,000 mile synthetic oil. That's what I've used in all my vehicles. I actually use the 15,000 mile synthetic, the high mileage synthetic in my FJ. But this is what I use, Mobil 1. I've had great success with Mobil 1. It's what I've used in all my vehicles for years. There are higher cost options, but you know, this one's been good for me. Okay, so that's the oil that you need. You need to make sure that you have yourself a quality filter, okay? And mine sits in the garage and it gets dirty on the inside, so I've already cleaned mine out. But you need to clean that out. Always need shop towels, so have yourself some of those. I usually have gloves to do this job, but not today. All my gloves are gone. I've used them all. So you're gonna get oil in your hands, so you can use a rag if you want. I don't like using my shop rags for oil because I'm not going to wash them in my washer, so I can use the throwaway, strong shop towels. But I just use these Gojo things. These things are fantastic. They smell good. This takes oil right off your hands. So yes, I'm going to get oil in my hands, but these guys are a lifesaver, and you should have them. They clean off all kinds of junk and dirt off your hands. So this is great something to have, around your workbench. It will always be handy for you. So get those. I like the Creeper. Okay, I use the Harbor Freight brand because I'm a do-it-yourself home warrior. I am not doing this professionally, and this has done great for me for over a year. It's probably about 2 years worth of use, and yeah, definitely 2 years worth of use. I've done all kinds of projects with it. So Harbor Freight has some good products for cheap money. They will not last you as long as a Snap-on, but they won't cost you what a Snap-on costs you. And if you're just doing stuff at the house, you're not doing it professionally, not a bad option, okay? There's some things I don't buy at Harbor Freight, but they're usually the things that I'm going to be using for a long time. But for tools that I'm going to use a few times a year, no problem. A filter wrench. I got this one first and I didn't like it. It's supposed to go around the filter and it's supposed to hold there. So this brand, I don't know what it is. I think it sucks. So I just brought it out to show you. I don't like it. I got this bad boy. It's more like an actual whale wrench, whale mouth wrench. It's built specifically for oil filters, and it expands. I love this thing. It's what I use for all my oil filters to loosen them up and maybe even tighten them down a little bit. It's got some teeth in there. You can kind of see that. So especially when you're getting them off, which is usually where it's harder, no problem. Okay. Gonna need a ratchet. Okay. This is a 15 millimeter. That's what I'm gonna use to take the oil drain out. Okay. So those are the tools that I use. How did I get my vehicle up to where I can get underneath it? Because even though this is on a truck chassis, this is not high enough for me to get under without something. Excuse me. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I use some ramps, and these are plastic ramps, or Bull or Rhino or something like that. I got them from an auto store, and I think it's Advanced Auto is what I got these from, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and they're rated for 3,000 pounds per side, so 6,000 pounds total. And considering it's just holding up the front of this Suburban, shouldn't be a problem. but I am a paranoid android. Okay? Okay, computer. Those of you guys that get that reference, stick it in the comments. I've got some jack stands underneath there as well, just in case the plastic gives out. I never had an inkling that it would, but in case it does, I like living. And I'm gonna be up under there, and I don't wanna be squished like grape. So that's what I'm gonna use right there. Those are Harbor Freight, they're cheap, and they are a backup. I usually get a piece of wood or something underneath whatever I'm jacking up, and I really need to get some better jacks, and I know that, so that's kind of one of those things that I picked up at Harbor Freight for cheap and should probably have gotten something better, but that's what it is. Okay, so we're gonna go up underneath L vehicle, but before we do that, we are going to come down here and unscrew the lid down here, cap, I should say, to our oil, and you will see that it says 0 weight 20 on there. It's upside down, but you can read that. Okay, I'm gonna set it over here to the side. There's this nifty spot down here for it to go. Somebody told me, don't know if this is true, but that'll just help get some of the air out in the system and let it drain better to where it's not glugging out. And so I've always done that. I reckon it's true. It makes sense. So anyway, all right. So before we get up under there, I'm gonna get my Gojo rag out and let's take the lid off. Sorry guys, I'm trying to make this as short as possible for y'all out there in internet land, but guess what? I'm not gonna get messy just because you don't want to watch me get out my shop rags. So we're gonna get that, put in my little tool department. We're gonna get our wrench and get our filter wrench, and then we're going to look under our car and remember that we did not get one of our important pieces, kind of important from the environment standpoint, and that is our catch, our oil pan, right? So we need that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drain this real quick because it's got some from my previous escapades in there, some oil in there. So I'm gonna put it in my oil can, which I keep around the house, and then I can take it to AutoZone or O'Reilly's or wherever. I usually shop at O'Reilly's, just not there or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna drain this out real quick and then we'll get up underneath the car and I'll see you in a few minutes. Little task, took no time at all to do. Just as a side note, I got my ramps up there, as you can kind of see in the background and where I kind of showed you there. And they kind of hit the front trim brush or whatever. It's not even a brush guard. It's the plastic trim a little bit up there, but it was worth it for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide up under the car like we are now. Some of these have a plate underneath this that you have to take off, and they usually use some 10mm bolts, but this doesn't have any kind of the kick plate under there that would prevent us from getting up to our filter. Here's our oil filter, and here's our oil drain paint or plug right here. Okay, like I said, this is 15mm, and this is what we're gonna need, a wrench to get up under there. So what we're gonna do, as you can see, the car is kind of dirty, just kind of part of it. We're gonna kind of get out of the way just a little bit because this is gonna spew out. Okay, so I'm gonna get you guys a front row seat to the spew right there, and I'm going to get my wrenches out, and I am going to position myself in said oil pan to where it spews away from my face. Set it over to loosen. Okay, so we got there. I went and got a 5/8 wrench, which did not quite fit the 15 millimeter, but it was big enough, and I got a much bigger, more substantial wrench. And unfortunately, I just didn't have a 15 millimeter and a half drive. So that's what that is. But anyway, so got it loosened up. So now we can start taking it apart. And let's see here. Don't know if we can do that by hand. We still have our 15 millimeter wrench up here, though it'd be a little smaller. But now, because we are loosened up, life is easier, and we can just crank it off until it's, there we go. Now it's coming easily, and so we're just gonna position correctly and pull this out, up, and in any minute it is going to start coming out as I pull that down. Oh, not quite. There we go. And whoop, there it is. And I got it pretty much going right in the hole, in the drain hole. That's cool. All right. That's good stuff. Guess y'all can see that. It looks like it, yeah. There's the oil right there. Warm. Oh, shoot. Well, if you touch the stream, it's actually fairly clean. Not too dirty, really. I don't know if y'all can see that. Kind of making a mess when I do that, but actually fairly clean. It's really not very dirty. I haven't driven this much. I got this because I was having twins, you know, and got all the kids. So I figured it would be a good idea to, you know, get a newer vehicle, young kids on the road. My wife is probably not as technical as I am, and I'm not the most technical person in the world. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But, you know, at the end of the day, I probably know a little bit more than her about stuff when it comes to this kind of stuff anyway. And so I just would just say that it's, I didn't want her stranded. I had this old 2005 van, nothing wrong with it other than the fact it was a salvage title and, you know, a bit of a wreck, but I mean, it was driving fine. I just really didn't want my wife driving on the road with that. So executive decision, decided to get something a little nicer for us, and I figured this is going to last a long time. I hope this will last, you know, 300,000 miles or so. So anyway, we're just going to let this drip out. Probably going to fast forward this time. Deep, deep. And kind of while we're at there, let's see here. I'm assuming that this is going to be too tight for me to do by hand. And yeah, it is. One thing is I'm being kind of a wuss right now. I got my thumb hurt in jiu-jitsu almost a month ago. And I just don't have as much strength in it after getting beat up by a black belt. But that's what they do. Unforgiving to white belts. I'm just kidding, of course. Alright, so that's getting there. Let's see if we can get this up under here and get it loosened. Can't really see. Good as that. Alright. There we go. We need to get a little lefty-loosey action. If I can get up there, I think what I'm going to probably do is just clean this off, stick this drain plug back up in there just so that we don't have to. Oh, and something else you want to check? Look at that. You see that drain plug has a washer up there, a little rubber gasket, okay? This one looks like it's built in. No, it's not built in, but it's up there. So look, if that'll last a few oil changes, okay? But that's something you need to be aware of, is that you probably need to have an extra one of those gaskets around if you're gonna do your own oil. This is the first time I'm doing mine, and it's kind of a low count, but you know, you need that to keep from getting that, you know, having it all rotten, and then you not be able to get a good seal on your tank there, which of course would be no bueno. All right, so I'm going to clean up around my freshly drained pan there. I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to get my wrench back into play. I'm going to switch it over to going towards the right, as you all know, righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we go. Just doesn't have to be super tight, just tight enough, you know, and that's tight enough. All right, neato bandito. So now we get to come over here and get our oil wrench, the one that I like, up here. And we're gonna, just in case it spews a little bit on us, get our oil pan under. I'm gonna come over and you can see my side while I grip this thing and turn it just a little bit. Let's see here, is it ready to turn by hand? Not quite. Not quite, I'll show you. All right. While you're looking at my back and my butt, I'm gonna try to do this two-handed here. Alrighty, you can kind of see up there, and I am, let's see here, can they see? Yep, kind of see up there, moving that around. There we go, you can kind of see that it just kind of hit that point. It's ready to come on off. Oh, and there we go. Now it's draining. Woo, yuck. Yeah, and it just doesn't look very dirty to me. Too bad anyway. Alright, I'm going to unscrew it. A little bit more. Whole action there. And we'll finish unscrewing that. And let's see here. Oh, there it goes. Kind of got this cool deal right here on this oil pan where it's got a little spot for your oil filter to just drain out. So we're gonna let that drain. Didn't make too much of a mess, did I? Did pretty good. So we're gonna let that drain, and then I'm gonna go show you and click on my video again once we get our other oil filter, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with that. So be right back. You're going to put this filter back on. Go, filter, go. Catch on that thread. Oh, come here. The hands are greasy, but no problem. Got that bad boy on there, like so. Now, it's gonna be hard for me to hand tighten this too good because of greasy hands, so let's see if my Gojo will do a little bit better on there for me. Probably not. Probably just gonna get my little filter wrench and give it a good turn or two. All right, I'll move that up there. I'm probably just gonna clean up there a little bit. I probably should have done that in the beginning, but hey, you know what? End of the day, not that big a deal. And got our nice Mobile One filter on there. Yay. Let's get our little wrench. So I'm not too terribly worried about dropping it on you anymore. Move you over there. You can see that. And just gonna grab hold here at the bottom. Do a little turn. Do a little turn. A little turn. And there we go. And that's pretty good. Oh, I can't unscrew it. Maybe just one more for good luck. Yeah. There we go. All right. That should be pretty good right there. All right. Loop-de-doop-de-doop-doop-doop. Loop-de-doop-doop. All right. Y'all coming with me? And there we go. Almost finished. We're gonna take and start loading in some oil. This is a bad boy. Oh, I wish I'd removed said cap first. Yeah, probably not the smartest idea. Oh, there we go. And these things come in 5 quarts. Oh man, don't be spilling. Oh. I have to get my little rag here cleaned up from where I'd spilt it everywhere like a jacknut. Shouldn't have done that, but that happens. All right, cool deal. All right, so that's 1 canister of oil in, and so each one of these hash marks on the right side is a quart. So we've got 5 in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So we're gonna get the oil down 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna get down to that line right there on our second canister. And I keep these little these bottles open. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shove these oily rags down in there, and that just makes me feel better. Oily rags have been known to spontaneously combust, and so I like giving them a nice oxygen-free environment in order to do so. Here comes my wife, that you can't see off camera.
I'm not on the video.
Nope, but your voice is now. You're a voice star. I can put you on the video.
No, I'm hungry.
I'm gonna put you on the video.
No, thank you.
Oh yes. We're totally gonna come in there and put her on the video. She's gonna get video bombed. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I may not get any luck, if you know what I mean, if I do that. So, may decide not to. But then again, it might be worth it. All right, got a little bit more to go. A little bit more to go. A little bit more to go. Daggum close. A little for good luck. Here it is, a little bit more. And that should about make it perfect. And there we go. Like a glove. All right. So there you have it. We have changed the oil in the Suburban. We need to put the cap back on. Obviously, we need to get our oil filter, or not filter, but our oil funnel out of the car, and we're going to do that. But anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you. Don't forget to reset your car's oil life meter. I'm going to put that on as a separate small short video, just because some people want to learn how to do that, and I'm just going to make it separately searchable. So that should be helpful. Okay, well, I hope this was helpful for you, step by step on how to change your oil in a 2020 Suburban. If you haven't checked us out before, check out our other videos where we talk about all kinds of things in life: preparedness, kids, jiu-jitsu, all the good stuff, gardening. And hopefully you'll find something that's interesting in there, guns and stuff too, all kinds of good stuff. And then there's some rants in there too. So hopefully this helped. Check out our website, thebarbariandad.com. Follow me on the Instagrams and all that other fun stuff. MeWe and Float. We don't use much communist media, just the Instagrams for now. All right, see you guys later. Stay uncivilized.